Kid Charlemagne back to discuss 1973 Court and Spark by Joni Mitchell. It is the sixth album, I think. But the title now, so let's get going right away. Court and Spark. You court someone, there's a spark, maybe a relationship. That's really it. There's not a whole lot to read more into that. There's a title track, but there's also thematically, once you get into more of the songs and the lyrics, there's more about the court and the spark. But yeah, still not really a whole lot there. But the cover notes, I really wish I had a physical copy with me because I mean, you can look at it on your phone or look at it here. I can barely tell. I can barely make out what's she painted. This not one of the best paintings. Like again, can't tell a lot was going. I think there are some mountains in the background, some waves. Um, I can't. I just don't know what the forefront is, and the writing is all etched in like. I mean, you can read it, but it this doesn't stand out very well. Okay. Yeah, again, I wish I had it in person. Maybe I could appreciate it more, but we're going straight to the songs. Well, a quick first impression. I have to know that this album really blew me away. It's just such an insane jump musically. It's like a smack in the face. I mean, I loved it, and maybe it could just be so refreshing and big on me right now because For the Roses felt very constrained thematically and almost musically a little. I mean, it was a great album, but it there are like glimpses of her maybe trying to reach out in some way musically and make some sort of a jump. But this is the real album where Joni Mitchell discovers jazz music. She finds out what it is, and she sees that she doesn't have to play piano for every song or strum the guitar. Anyway, the Court and Spark, the opening track. Maybe it's apt to start with the worst track to open the album. It does fit within the context somewhat of the album and what it kind of is speaking to thematically and what's overarching, but the sound almost feels like cutting room floor material from For the Roses. And it's also great that she kind of just repeats what I just said about like the title of the album and what that means, Court and Spark. I believe there's like a little refrain, and went for a lemon to Court and Spark. She does it twice, the first two verses. Sure. But I do like there's some great. I do like the initial imagery a lot. In that first line, the with a sleeping roll and a madman's soul, dancing up a river in the dark. We know what it all means, and of course she's using the he and him pronouns, so it's a man. We know a man is coming to like court and spark her, but all she's really saying is the sentence, "A man came to court me," but she stretches that out into like 6, 7 lines. She makes the simple abstract. So okay, maybe it is like a good song, but she does. She talks about the glory train. This next couple lines where she talks about the glory train passing through him. I think maybe it's a remark on like artists giving up their musical purity and sacrificing their best interests for instincts for fame. I don't really know what she's going on about there. Sure, but I mean, as the song progresses, it becomes more about kind of the tug and the conflict between, love and music, and that kind of tugging down on like the sense of music as a job and versus music as a passion, like a creative passion, because they're definitely two different things in that music as a passion, creative passion is more of an independent type of work, but there are a lot of external business factors that creates your talent as like a gift and a curse. So this man, as Joni kind of expands on and projects this little, not really a metaphor, but this little idea of like the music as that creative tug of war inside of you. She projected it through him, saying that he sacrificed these blues and this music and his passion for love of her, but she can't do the same. She is too tied to her real love, which is making music, and so as she says, um, she can't let go of LA because he says he sacrificed his blues to complete, and he says he can complete her if she gives himself up for him, like he's giving himself up for her. But she can't let go of LA. She can't let go of the Help Me. Now this is a great song, not that Court Spark song, but it's just such a great groove. It's recorded with Tom Scott's jazz band. It's a jazz fusion type song, I guess. The singing is just so great. Just how she sways and vocally kind of drifts through the flutes and the drums and the sax. I mean, it's a song where I hardly even care about what she's saying, whatever the lyrics are. Her singing is just so good, and how the chemistry is with the other music that's coming in. It feels like a song where she really knows what she wanted musically and how it would work so well in tandem with her voice. And the multiple backing tracks she uses that pop in and out, pop up in like the hooks and the choruses, just incredibly effective in making this just as great as it is. But I mean, the lyrics, yeah, she's afraid of falling in love, doesn't want to lose her freedom, but is excited for what love could be. So she's like, "Help! What do I do? Help me!" You don't need an explanation for the song. Anyone can read. Well, there's no explanation for the song. It's all there in the lyrics. It's just a simple song. Sometimes, I mean, amazing songs, they kind of just are simple sometimes. And this is really one of the best tracks on the album, and such a easy and fun listen. And the next one, Free Man in Paris, another one, great, another jazz fusion, I think, right? It's like Steely Dan, but this is before the Steely Dan. I think they went into the Asia jazz fusion stuff. But it's another song about the plights and perils of love and business, clawing at your soul and your talents and your creative drive, and how that's interfering with your prowess and journey. Everyone's asking for her time, her favors. They want to be her friend, but she just wants to be free in Paris. So do I. She just wants to make her music, be alone, not have to deal with all this, the business side of things. It's a very cleverly written song that just sounds as good as any kind of pop hit can sound. And that's, I mean, really it. But that's all it really needs to be. It's kind of the same as the last song. They're two of probably the best songs on the album. But like lyrically, they're not like, you don't need to teach a class on them. So, but it's just delightful. Her talent, again, it's a gift and a curse, and society is kind of descending upon her for that gift. The People's Parties. This is the next track. She's no longer in Paris now. She had to leave. She's no longer free. She's at the society parties. She's giving the lay of the land and description of the carousel. It's a short song, only 2 minutes. It's just about the facade of fame, and it is mostly a self-aware song about her own kind of facade and disguise she puts on in these Thai society parties where she has this self-doubt, this nervousness, and this anxiety of being around all these people. But I think there's a little more to this, because I think it's also just, it's not only a reflection of her, but I think it's a reflection of everyone around her. I think everyone around her feels the same way. These smiles, they hide frowns, and frowns hide smiles. Tears hide laughter, and laughter hides tears. It's like she says in the song, with just laughter making up for tears, and it's all the same. They're all the same. But I think it is just kind of an acoustic strumming song, but it's really carried by her voice that kind of swiftly bounces around. Because again, it's a 2 minute song, but I think there are like a decent amount of like lyrics and verses in the song. So she she's very good at just like flowing straight through, and but not making it feel rushed the way she's just singing. And then there are some beautiful backing vocals on at the end with the laughing it all away. It's a great track. I really love this track. And then it fades right into Same Situation, which is kind of just piano song time. Not as great of a song. Kind of just the struggle of trying to become fully like self-possessed, her own struggle. And unfortunately she does the kind of saying the meaning of the song, saying the themes. I called out to be released, called in my struggle for a higher achievement, and my search for love that doesn't seem to cease. I couldn't tell so far, really, from listening, if that was what you're talking about, if that's what everything means so far. I'm glad you told me, but yeah. I think the vulnerability in her singing really just trumps the vulnerability in her writing in this type of song. She performs the song a lot better than she writes it. That's all I'm gonna say with this one. Let's see. Oh, and okay, Car on the Hill. We're back to the thumbs up songs. I mean, who knew you could be bobbing your head and shaking your shoulders to a Joni Mitchell song? I didn't know, but I also don't know a lot of like the instruments that come in. I think it's like jazz. I know that, but just like the guitars and trumpets, I think that open this track, and then like a minute in where the piano goes into that blended crescendo of her voice and the blaring guitars and the flutes and the trumpets that lead into the second verse. It's just all so incredible to listen to. I mean, it's another song, lyrics, yeah, it's just lyrics on the page. It's not like real stuff. But it's like maybe my favorite track on the album. It's just so fun to listen to. And I mean, again, don't really have to get to the lyrics. It's just how great the beginning of Love is. You're just waiting and waiting for that car to climb up on the hill, because it's the kind of the first like stint of meeting someone, and you're just having such a great time with them. And this is the spark of Court and Spark, the title. She's going back to it. She mentioned Spark, so there you go. Okay, Down to You. Another terrible song title, but okay. Piano song again. I mean, it has some other kind of instruments that pop out and make a nice atmospheric, gives an atmospheric tone and feel to the song. But the refrain of the song title is kind of, I think, the most important thing to note here. I think it kind of just does it a couple times. I think in the like beginning verses, but because you see the lyrics, you hear them, you read them, they kind of just sound like another one of those For the Roses songs where she's talking to someone, she's talking about someone. But I think as the song goes on, as you think more about it, I think it's kind of speaking more to herself. She's speaking more to herself and her own trajectory in life. And I think that's kind of interesting and a lot more of the overarching feel and kind of themes to this album, as we'll get to with some other songs. But now, just like this train, she's starting to become more self-possessed finally. Um, she runs behind the time. She lets things slide. She's just a train. She's not counting lovers anymore. She's in her own present feel, present time. She's living for the now. She doesn't need a lover to find her own fulfillment and actualization, but she's doing good. But the what I kind of wanted to highlight most here is kind of the melodizing she does. I think this is like the Coke and the chocolate, that one like da 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 da. But I think all the melodizing she does, it feels almost like improvisational at times, where she kind of just floats through the lyrics and then kind of just um, like bends up the way she inflects her voice and starts to sing the song. It's really interesting to listen to. It's just very like surprising and unexpected what she does with this line, because she's one of those artists where, a lot of artists and lyrics can be good, but they sometimes almost just work with the music and with the singing. Whereas I think Mitchell in particular, with this album, I've noticed a lot, is just words on the page you can read, and it works just as well as words in the song. It can read as real poetry, and I think this is one great example of it. But yeah, that improvisational singing, it's a very nice touch with the jingling guitar. Now, this Raised on Robbery song, I feel it probably shouldn't work on on this album, and for this artist, given this like swinging Robbie Robertson guitar, just like blowing this album into like a full-on blues rock and roll territory, but it strays away, but it still works. It still sounds good enough. It gets the pass from me. It is like a take it or leave it, just because I like the song is about a prostitute in a hotel, sees this rich guy. She wants to like court him. Now she's doing the court, and get her up to her place, blah blah blah, da da da. And I just like the one verse where it's kind of the metaphorically hiding the prostitution as like cooking, and she's like, "Let me work my recipe in the kitchen on you." It's clever. It's funny. I like that song. Okay, Troubled Child. There's like the same like jingling guitar tone as what is that song? Just Like a Train. It sounds very similar, and they're both very good tracks. But I don't know. It's funny. But what I've come back to a little and kind of find interesting with his album compared to For the Roses, that For the Roses exercise, is how formally introspective and ambiguous this album comes off. For the Roses, it's can be credited as a concept album, and how we talked about how like focused it is on kind of the withdrawal from a relationship and the reaching out and then the swaying back and then ending in just fully out of focus with that person and with that relationship, fully moving on. But I know a lot of it is just you're far past your distance, but they're still so close with you, even though it's not physical at all. But this one, there's just so much more of a self-deconstruction going on that kind of makes it just a lot more universal and interesting to think about when you go through these songs, because there is so much you that she uses, like, you are this, you are doing this, I am going to do this to you, or you should do this, those types of lines. And when you read it, just like, it's like you, that person, but it's actually me, it's you. But I think might get into that more with another song. But Um, it's kind of just to say this album's just continuing um, of her talking to and about herself, whereas For the Roses was much different. Um, but oh, and this one great line I like, or great part in the song. So why does it come as a shock to know that you have no one, only a river of changing fares, looking for an ocean. They trickle through your leaky plans, another dream over the dam. And then it kind of it just ends with those leaky Lynchian trumpets that lead into Twisted, the closing track on the album. Fun fact: uh, Twisted is used in the great Woody Allen film Deconstructing Harry, and although I think it might not even be the Joni Mitchell version, I think the film uses a different version. Anyway, but game respect game sort of. Although I'm not sure if it's her version. Anyway, great, very funny song. It's catchy. I like how she kind of not really singing on this song. She's like talking her way through the song. It's almost as condescending as the character who she is singing as. It's very fun. It's very cool. I like this song a lot. And it's a great wrap to the album because through the whole album, it's this almost confused dialogue with herself, kind of this like almost mythological deconstruction of her mind. And then in this final song, she's just fully possessed. She's fully twisted. She's fully there in her own present mind, and she's not like so worried or so full of these anxieties. Those don't exist. The doctors, the friends, it's they don't have any truth for her. All the truth is in her mind. Great track to end it. But yeah, no, this easy 5-star album. Like I know there's a really big album coming up, but this I think is the best one right now. I'm putting it over Blue. I just like how I like the Reach's sonic or musically. I think they're incredible jumps, but yeah, I'm putting this at the top right now. Great album. We will be back soon. That's Court and Sparks.